The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. From the Jamborees to the Superdome, your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, here's Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy.
One more time here on this. There we go. One more time here in the 2024 season. It is Louisiana Prep Scoreboard. We are presented by Lake Urgent Care. Cade Wazan, Jimmy Roy. We got Ryan, we got Skip, and we got Henry producing the program tonight. We appreciate everyone tuning in, whether you're listening on the radio on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, or if you're watching on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel, or on your view. We appreciate everyone tuning in. As you heard it go final here on the radio side, it was Edna Carr, the number one seed of Select Division I, with a 21-19 win over Catholic High of Baton Rouge. And so Carr will represent one half of that championship matchup. But, very interesting games throughout the area. Only one game in the Baton Rouge metro area tonight. We had 7 local teams represented, though, coming into tonight. I think that's a pretty good representation when you consider where we were, when this playoff developed so many years ago, I guess 11 years ago. But 7 teams here in the area with a chance to go to the Superdome. That's a nice grouping, I think.
I think so. And you had a big win from Central up at Neville, winning 17-13 with a big special teams play late.
You'll be all right, buddy.
I'll be all right, yeah. I just wish Central would have shown a little bit of class throughout the,
that's uncalled for.
Well, there's just no room for it. But, I'd say that if Neville would have done, that kind of thing. But anyway, Central wins that one 17-13 on a big special teams play. Special teams played an important role in a lot of games, it seemed like. And, John Curtis and Alexandria was one of those games. Special teams ended up making a big difference, and Alexandria pulled out a big win there, 24-13.
Catholic High of New Iberia kicking a field goal with 1 second left, I think, on the clock to beat Calvary, who was the defending state champion. So, yeah, special teams, it's always big. It's always big, and it's a lot of – we saw some bad special teams played tonight, Cade. Yeah. And, but, yeah, you gotta play complementary football. You got to be able to do it in all 3 phases of the game.
Yeah, we saw, some that were – maybe that was interesting. An unintentional poor kickoff led to what almost, I guess, looked like a onside kick and recovered. And then you had another situation where a punt is recovered, and it was kind of a low bouncing type situation that the returner picked up. And it's the old Jimmy Roy, Todd Black rule: pick that punt up and return it, because if it bounces, it's probably down minus 4 or 5. Instead, it was turned around to pass the 50. So, yeah, these things matter in these championship games. Little things go a long way.
You don't even have to return it. Just catch it.
Yeah.
Catch it and get possession. That's the number one responsibility for a punt returner. But you see so many in high school let it hit and then roll for 20 yards and kills you. But, yeah.
Well, lots to get to tonight, so let's get you caught up on the scores. Pretty much everything in the books tonight. And we'll be speaking with a lot of Victoria's head coaches as well. But let's get you caught up, all 8 brackets, and we'll start on the non-select side.
The Division I non-select playoff bracket, insured by State Farm.
Central over Neville 17-13, and Ruston over Destrehan 44-7.
The Division II non-select playoff bracket, presented by InvestStar Bank.
Franklinton over Iowa 35-29. And Cecilia over Plaquemine, 55-35.
The Division III non-select playoff bracket, connected by Rev.
St. James, a big winner over Union Parish, 43-36. Sterlington over Gina, 48-14.
The Division IV non-select playoff bracket, pumped by Peak Performance.
South Plaquemines defeats Logansport, 20-14.
The Division I select playoff bracket, fueled by Frogs at Magnolia Beach.
Edna Carr, winner over Catholic of Baton Rouge, 21-19. And Alexandria defeats John Curtis 24-13.
The Division II Select Playoff Bracket, cared for by Lake Urgent Care.
Archbishop Shaw 35, Madison Prep 28, Edie White 41, Leesville 13.
The Division III Select Playoff Bracket, presented by attorney Chris Perrette.
Dunham defeats Bunkie 46-22, and Catholic New Iberia over Calvary 33-31.
The Division IV Select Playoff Bracket, restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Vermilion Catholic shuts out Kentwood 33-0, and Ouachita Christian 24, Ascension Catholic 22.
Thank you, Skip. Getting our scores read here on Semi-Final Friday. Lots of thank yous to be given out tonight as we're wrapping up the season, our season finale of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard. But as we look back on the brackets, going to the Division I side of things, and I know we'll be speaking with some coaches here. As we mentioned, Central gets the win over Neville and advance to the championship. Ruston over Destrehan, and that thing really never in doubt tonight. Ruston has a nice job, and now they're back in the Superdome for another year.
When the brackets came out, I know Neville was seeded number one, but I thought and had beaten Ruston. But I've even though they lost 2 games in a row, I thought Ruston was still the best team in that division. I thought Neville was number 2. Of course, Central goes up there second year in a row on the road to Neville. I think that experience last year helped them and ended their season. But I still think Ruston was the best team in the state. We'll find that out next week, obviously. I thought going into that Central game, I talked with Steve Insminger, Todd, and made some predictions on the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Facebook. And I had mentioned to Steve earlier in the week, I think it was Wednesday, if somebody can score 28, they're going to win that game. And he said, I don't see anybody scoring more than 21 in that game. He said if they can get to 21, he thought both teams' defenses were that good offensively. He didn't think either one was playing that well. So they were pretty right on Todd and Steve were both right on that in a low-scoring game. We knew it was going to be a slugfest. 2 teams that are built similar.
Very similar.
They love the physical brand of ball. Yeah, you got to hit some play actions. They run the football. I think Jalen Nichols rushed. Hell, I think he had over 250 yards tonight. And when you run that for that many yards and you still lose, man. And you go down to the end. So Todd, let's talk about this. It's 13-10 with about 3 minutes left. Inside the 10-yard line, Neville's going in to either score a touchdown and win it, or kick a field goal to go up by a touchdown. It's one of those, you're darned if you do, you're darned if you don't. If you go for it, you run the clock out, you give Central the football with 90-plus yards to go.
And they hadn't gone anywhere.
Anywhere.
In the second half.
If I'm the coach, and I'm not second-guessing Mike Collins and his staff at all, but I think I'm going to go for it there. I'm going to run the clock. I'm going to run the play second down for the last 4 plays to 1 second, snap it, and make Central go 90-something yards to beat me. Yeah. Like Todd said, they hadn't been able to do all night. Lead. And then you go for it, and you get the field goal blocked, and they run it back 92 yards for a touchdown.
But you understand the football thought process behind it and why you would try that field goal. And, again, I've always said and been in that position before, as soon as you make the play and in your head as a coordinator or a coach that it was a bad call, or it's just not fair to do to yourself because you're going to second-guess yourself from now until the end of time. And that's what you do as a coach, and it's just unfair. But I kind of like the idea of going for it there, maybe going run, and seeing what you could get and make Central drive all the way down. I don't think they were having a lot of success moving the football, and that was probably their best opportunity to score was trying to block a field goal, and it worked out. And, when you get down to these type of games, crazy things happen. And it did to Neville, and that's why they lost at 17-13. But they had many opportunities in that game to put Central away, or at least get a lead on Central. And Central's defense played extremely well. They bent a lot, but they didn't break at all unless it was like one or two times.
If you ran that play 10 times, I feel like 8 out of 10 times, maybe more, a field goal gets put up in the air and is probably, if you're Neville, through the uprights. The rare situation where it's blocked and returned, just that combo of events that happen, the snap, et cetera, and you'll replay that thing, I'm sure, through your head. But it seems like if you execute that play 9 out of 10 times, people look at you and go, "Hey, you go, coach, you're up a touchdown. You're ready to roll."
Well, I think it's one of those things where when you're at practice, Jimmy, and we talk about this a lot of times too, is you try to do things in practice to simulate a game, and you got to be able to have that confidence as a coach to say, he's going to make it. We're good. And go ahead and you base your call on what you've seen in practice, not necessarily what's about to happen. And because you just never know, because you're still dealing with 15, 16, 17-year-olds. So you try to do your best there.
And the snap was high.
Yes, good point.
Threw off the timing of it. But like you said, it's one of those situations. You can't, if he kicks it and he makes it, you're a hero as a coach. And if you don't, well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. You're darned if you do, you're darned if you don't. I don't think either call was the right or wrong call. I personally think I would have ran a little more clock right there and made Central drive the field. But, I mean, you can't really second guess the staff.
Sometimes it's just in the cards.
Yeah, and look at Russ. And one thing I do have to say, David Semino, this is his third team he's taken to the Dome, Catholic High, Point Capee, Catholic High, and now Central, and that's the first time, probably since the late 60s that Central's been to a state championship in football. And Destrehan, Rustin, Todd, what were your thoughts? I know you had predicted a little closer ball game.
I did.
They got a couple picks on Jackson Fields early, and Rustin just ran it down their throat. We knew going in that it was a possibility. Destrehan's defensive front was not that good, but we thought they would be able to score with them, at least keep up with them. We knew Rustin would eat some time-consuming drives, try to run it down their throat, which they did, but we thought Destrehan would have been able to answer some of them. 3 of their last 4 games, they put up over 60 points, and it was 44-0, and it was, 28-0 at half, 24-0 at half. Destrehan fumbles the opening kickoff of the second half, and shoot, it was over.
And I was talking to Stuart Shelby. He does the Neville Tiger Network, and we'll talk about them in a little bit. Y'all are complimenting how well they do their broadcast. But and he just talked about how well, since the Alexandria loss, that Rustin had been playing so well. Kind of, to what Jimmy was saying, they lost to Neville, they lost to Alexandria. I may have bashed that. I meant that after Rustin lost to Alexandria, how they've been playing after that, and they really have been lights out. They went through Zachary. They went through whoever they did last week, and I thought Destrehan was playing as good as any team in the state coming into last week or coming into tonight, and they really dismantled them pretty easy.
And we're going to try to talk to Coach Bow. If you remember back after the Neville loss, he wasn't real happy with the way it was after the Washita game that they survived, I think 22-21. He wasn't happy at all with his team's action, the way they were playing, the seriousness of the way they were taking things, and he went back to a day that they normally in shells and went back full pads and went ones-on-ones just to try to get their mindset back right.
I'll tell you who's gotten their mindset back right, and I know we got to go to break, and that's Cecilia.
Yeah.
Ooh, man.
Well, they got Diesel back.
Yeah, and look, if anybody's been tested, it's Rustin, considering where they went early in the season through that trio of games in Texas, coming back and running through that district that was so tough. And the Road Dogs of Cecilia, you can't say enough about them. I mean, be right back in the Superdome. Who wants to play them right now?
You look at Destrehan, that was their third straight trip up north. They had played Destrehan in 3 of the last 4 years, and Destrehan had won all 3 of those ball games.
We'll look forward to some great conversations coming up because there's some happy coaches out there, and this is the time of the year where, you look forward to making that trip to New Orleans and bring your team to a very unique experience. Our semifinal show continues tonight here on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll be right back to 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and your view.
Hi, I'm John D'Angelo, founder and CEO of Investar Bank. Here at Investar, we're about building lasting relationships, making the right moves, and catering to your needs because you are the heartbeat of our local community. Come on over and experience the Investar difference. Visit us anytime, any place, in person, or online. And tell them that John sent you. Fans, burgers are ready. Investar. Investar.
Don't have time for a stomach virus?
I don't have time to be sick today.
When you're sick after hours or weekends, you don't have time to wait around. Save time and money and feel better faster with Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets.
Coach K from Wiseman High School, and you listen to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard with K, Todd, and Jimmy on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, how out they going out.
And you can't bring in the holidays without Aaron Neville.
Hell, it felt like it was snowing out there tonight.
Ooh, man, it was cold. On the campus of Parkview Baptist High School is where this semifinal was played, and it was Dunham who comes away victorious 46-22 over Bunkie and advance to the Select Division III state championship game next week, and they'll take on number 7 Catholic of New Iberia. I've been told our next guest is being brought to you by Investar Bank. He is head coach Neil Weiner. Coach, thanks so much for joining us tonight. Congratulations on that win.
Oh, thank you, Kay. Thank you, guys.
Coach, heck of a ball game for you. First question I have. We sit there and watched your center get blindsided and knocked out of the ball game, and I saw a kid on the side go from number 12 to number 79. They just pulled it over to number 12 and go out there and center. Who was that?
Hey, that's what Dunham Tigers do. That's Charlie Myers, sophomore starting defensive end. And tough as nails, great kid. He's a coach's kid, Chad Myers, head basketball coach. And he just loves football and loves to win. So he's going to do whatever the team needs.
That was one of the coolest things. We said, look, he's changing his jersey. They dug up, got a little box out, dug it out, slipped over to number 79, over to 12, and off he goes, man.
A couple of practice snaps. He was out there ready to go.
Yes, indeed. Well, Coach, look, the first half, this game started about as crazy as it could. They run a reverse flea flicker on the first play, have a guy wide open. Then for a touchdown, then they come up and they don't do it intentionally, but they shank a kickoff. It squibs up. It turned out to be a perfect onside kick. You get a stop. You answer the score. I thought, honestly, your first half was sloppy. Y'all didn't play well. The game had a funny flow to it. But I told Kay before, I said, going into the half, I said, it's 16-15. Neil's got to feel really good because they haven't played well, and they're 1 point behind. What was your message at halftime?
Yeah, look, I want to credit Coach Jeff Shake Snyder, Coach Shake. He coaches with us over at Dunham now, and, man, he's got a lot of wisdom. And we talked about it earlier today, just how fired up that Bunkie would be, how special of a moment that was for their whole community, and that if we could just weather the storm, we were going to be all right. And so that's what we kept telling the kids. Tell everybody just stay calm, keep swinging. The ball's going to start bouncing our way. They put the ball on the ground 3 times, and we just couldn't get on it. We shot ourselves in the foot a couple of times, and it wasn't great, but we were right there at halftime, and we knew we were getting the ball to start the second half. So, we got some tough kids and just so resilient.
So I met Coach Shake last week for the first time, and I'd heard of him. And I told him, I said, there's so many Shake Snyders down here. I don't know which part of who and part of family, but he's got the North Louisiana ties with ULM and West Monroe and Neville and all that kind of thing. So we had a good talk after I had to beg him to let me in to park. But anyway, question.
Hey, Coach Shake is a Catholic High Grizzly great.
Is he really?
And went and became a Warhawk up there, or an Indian at that time. And stayed up in Monroe for the most part. I think he's a ULM former head baseball coach, conference coach of the year. Now he's an assistant at Dunham. So great guy, a lot of knowledge, but he's been awesome.
So, Coach, the one thing I remember about your last trip to the Superdome, I remember watching you after the game, and you were just sitting there and you were in a dead stare. What can you take from that moment and apply to this week to have a better outcome against Catholic New Iberia?
Well, you know what? It may sound like Coach speak, but we talked to our kids about it this morning. We don't have to win. We want to win, and there's a big difference. We have to give relentless effort at what we're doing, and that's our standard. So win or lose, that's going to happen. That script is written, but what we control is our effort, and so that's all we're focused on. That's what we've been focused on. Since last March, when our off-season program officially starts, when basketball season ends. And, our guys lift weights year-round, but we don't get outside and touch a football until basketball season's over. And, our guys have been relentless in that pursuit, and that's what it's going to take again next week.
Coach, this will be the second year in 3. 2 out of 3 years you've made it there. What does it really say about the direction your program is headed? I mean, I just think it's been on an upward trend. You finally got it from where it used to be an up and down type roller coaster ride with Dunham. You'd have a good team and then a so-so team and then a bad team and then a good team. But for the last, 11 years now, it's just been steadily on the climb.
Well, I don't have a great answer for that other than Dunham's an awesome place. Our leadership is fantastic. Our community support we get, our parents, they support our coaches. We don't have parent drama. I'm not meeting with people complaining about this and that. They believe in what we do as coaches, and then we've got kids that are just absolutely awesome. And we've had that. It's just taken a little bit of while. It took a little bit of while, and we had to have some really great players early on that kind of teach them how to win. The Derek Stingleys and Mike Williams and Tony Hueys and those guys. They kind of taught people how to win. and now our kids know what it takes, and they get after it in the weight room. They hold each other accountable at practice. We got some really great kids, and it's an awesome school to be a part of.
I think a lot of it has to do, Coach, with yourself and your staff being consistent and being that role model and example of what your kids want to be. I mean, you as a person, heavily, based on faith and how you. Every time I see you, I mean, I don't care what the game is like. You're always a good person, and I mean, I think that it says a lot about you and what your program and what you try to instill in your kids, and I think it shows on the field. And I'd like to commend you on that.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm not a perfect man by any means, but I'm grateful God has a lot of grace and allows me every single day to go back to work and work with kids who just want to do their best. And we have been absolutely blessed to have a staff that has stayed together for a long time now. It reminds me a lot of the guys that we used to coach with at Redemptorist. Maybe not in body weight, but a lot of heart, a lot of really good men that care about kids and want to do things the right way, and then they're outstanding football coaches to boot. So it's a lot of fun to coach with this group of guys, high character men, and then we've got kids that fall in line with that mission as well.
Coach, before we let you go, we're honoring tonight one of our student athletes of the week, coming to us from Dunham, and his linebacker Reeves Johnson. What can you say about this young man, what he means to your team? I know we heard his name called a couple times in that first half.
Reeves been fantastic for us. He's such a tough, physical kid, plays inside linebacker. He's one of our strongest guys in the weight room. He's one of those guys that's texted on the weekend, hey, Coach, is the weight room going to be open? I want to come in and lift. He's been that way for 4 years, and he just does an awesome job. He's a leader on our campus, does a fantastic job in the classroom. Obviously, if you've got over a 4.1 GPA with honors and AP classes, you're a lot smarter than I am, that's for sure. But, man, just such an awesome kid to see in the program grow over these last couple of years. And, he made a huge interception tonight, had a great pick six 2 weeks ago against Parkview Baptist. He's been an absolute stud for us.
Hey, Coach, you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to talk to Coach Mr. John D'Angelo, and see if I can't get y'all a turf field sponsored by Investar Bank so you don't have to move these games anymore.
Yeah, they do need to get off of that 10-year plan that they built, that they designed that complex 10 years ago. I think they need to get to work on it.
I tell you what, look, we got great people, and when you do things the right way, good things happen. And we know we got great things happening over at Dunham, and they'll just continue to grow. But guys like John D'Angelo and the support they show for Dunham, and really all of Baton Rouge. But we're so grateful he's a part of the Dunham family, and Investar Bank has been an awesome sponsor.
Well, thank you, Coach. Congratulations, and we'll be talking next week, I'm sure.
That's right. Thank y'all. Go Tigers.
Yes, sir.
And then also want to mention Ascension Catholic. We have another student athlete. Our student athlete is presented by State Farm agents Drew Dillio, Brian Moe, Byron Gill, and Mitch Mueller. They've been with us for quite a while now, and we appreciate all they do. But it comes from Ascension Catholic. It's quarterback Camille LaBeouf.
Nice.
3.8 GPA, 23 on his ACT. He's a member of the Beta Club, FCA, National Honor Society. He is an usher at Mass. He's a football, basketball, baseball player. He's all-district pitcher last year. He plans to attend LSU in sports administration. And one of the things I was talking with Troy about this week about their game, and I was talking about his son Camille, and he got a phone call the other day. He was Camille was at a store, and saw a lady struggling to get her groceries in her car stuff, and he just walked over there and helped, and he found out about it somehow. But it just goes to show you the type of kid Camille is. They lost a tough one tonight, playing without their best player, Chad Elzy, and I didn't think it'd be that close without Elzy when I found out right before the game he wasn't going to play. I thought Ascension Catholic had the better team, but still the job that, and we'll talk about that game later on, but congratulations to Camille LaBeouf. He's a kid who's waited his turn. He's had one outstanding football season, so Troy and his wife have a lot to be proud of the way they've raised him.
He's the ideal program player.
Yes.
Ideal program player and a great kid on top.
We'll take a timeout. We'll get another round of scores from semifinal action. When we return, this is Louisiana Prep Scoreboard presented by Lake Urgent Care, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, and your view.
Don't have time for cold or flu?
I don't have time for the cold or the flu.
We're here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. When you don't have time to be sick, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Hi, I'm John D'Angelo, founder and CEO of Investar Bank. Here at Investar, we're about building lasting relationships, making the right moves, and catering to your needs because you are the heartbeat of our local community. Come on over and experience the Investar difference. Visit us anytime, any place, in person, or online. And tell them that John sent you. Fans burgers are ready. Investar. Investar.
Do you think you have COVID-19?
I'm worried I may have COVID.
We're open 7 days a week for both rapid COVID and antibody testing. Life is busy. You don't have time. Get your results fast at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered.
Now back to the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
In just a couple minutes, I'll let you know about the good food we had from Chicken Shack tonight, catering our teams. Not only the chicken, the gumbo, the shack balls, everything in between, and how you can get a Christmas meal all put together, feed the family on a budget. We'll let you know more of that in just a bit. Let's get you caught up on scores, and we'll start in the non-select brackets.
The Division I non-select playoff bracket, insured by State Farm.
Central over Neville 17-13, and Ruston over Destrehan 44-7.
The Division II non-select playoff bracket, presented by InvestStar Bank.
Franklinton over Iowa 35-29, and Cecilia over Plaquemine 55-35.
The Division III non-select playoff bracket, connected by Rev.
St. James over Union Parish 43-36, Sterlington over Gina 48-14.
The Division IV non-select playoff bracket, pumped by Peak Performance.
Haynesville defeats General Trask 52-14, and South Plaquemine 20, Logansport 14.
The Division I select playoff bracket, fueled by Frogs at Magnolia Beach.
Edna Carr over Catholic High 21-19, and Alexandria defeats John Curtis 24-13.
The Division II select playoff bracket, cared for by Lake Urgent Care.
Archbishop Shaw 35, Madison Prep 28, Edie White 41, Leesville 13.
The Division III select playoff bracket, presented by attorney Chris Perrette.
Dunham over Bunkie 46-22, and Catholic New Iberia 33, Calvary 31.
The Division IV select playoff bracket, restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Vermilion Catholic shuts out Kentwood 33-0, and Washita Christian 24, Ascension Catholic 22.
Thank you, Skip, getting our scores together tonight, and we are efforting a head coach in the process. I'll remind you about our friends at Chicken Shack. Of course, tonight we were catered by the Acadian Thruway location. You can set your orders in now for the holiday season. The deadline to do that is December 22nd by 2 o'clock. No exceptions, all caps. So you want to make sure you get this in time.
By when?
December 22nd,
all right,
2 o'clock on the dot. Turkey dinner, fried, smoked, or baked, 3 sides, $150. Half pan of sides feeds 12 people, and the fried turkey by itself, $50. That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Baked or smoked turkey, $50. You've also got some great sides: cornbread dressing, rice dressing, potato salad, yams, green beans. You can get a pint of gravy for $4 if you just want the gravy. You can also get mustard greens, red beans, mac and cheese. You can get the baked ham dinner, baked duck, baked ham, pork tenderloins. Man, they got all kinds of things. And the desserts, if you want to go through this list: carrot cake, butter pecan, 7-Up cake, rum cake, Italian cream, German chocolate, coconut, lemon pound, red velvet cake. You got pies and all kinds of
that's
peach
more
cobblers.
than Piccadilly.
Man, this is incredible. And look, as much as I feel like Louisiana Prep Scoreboard has become a Baton Rouge tradition, Chicken Shack is a Baton Rouge tradition.
Yes,
it's
indeed.
been here quite a while, since the 30s, and man, it's incredible to know that is in your backyard. It's such a delicious meal from our friends at Chicken Shack.
It's been around a long, long time. We used to go to it when we coached over there at Redemption. They make one heck of a pork chop, fried pork chop,
Great plate
chop
lunches,
sandwich.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
Look, Gordy and I used to do a remote from there back when we did Between the Lines on WIVR.
Wow.
That's like in 1995.
Man, the orange roof, it is, it is good cooking. And it's one of the first places I had a chance to eat when I came to Baton Rouge. There's certain places you want to try that are very much staples of this community, and Chicken Shack. Man, I appreciate their partnership with us tonight.
Yes, indeed. That was good.
Yep.
We are efforting a head coach. I will go over. We covered the non-select Division I in segment 1, and go over here just for a second to select Division I. Edna Carr, we mentioned getting the win over Catholic High, and then Alexandria Senior High getting the win over John Curtis. You know, Curtis coming into this contest, it's hard to say it's a surprise to see them in the semifinals, but considering the way the regular season went for them, don't even think about the record. It was an abnormal season for them. But they came into the playoffs blazing, and Alexandria is a team that we knew, has played so well. So this Carr-Ash matchup, I think, has been anticipated by a lot of people. All right.
So
who we have? Thomas?
Oh,
okay.
Perfect
there we
timing.
go.
There we go.
Timing.
Well, speaking of one half of that matchup next week, It's going to feature the Trojans from Alexandria Senior High, and Coach Thomas Bachman joins us now as they get the win over John Curtis. Coach, congratulations on the win, and it's good to have you back on the show.
Thank you. Glad to be back. Y'all only talk to us after wins, so hey, or only talk to me after wins. So I love talking to you guys,
especially when it's semifinal week, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it.
So, man, I was able to catch the first half of your game, and the defensive lines for both teams really dominated. And then late towards the second half, you guys got the ball on your own 9-yard line. You seemed like you went up tempo and you found something. So talk to us a little bit about what you found and how the end of the half ended, and take us through that process.
Yeah, I think it was a 16-play drive, 91 yards. We were able to get that go-ahead touchdown, the first touchdown of the game, to go up 7-0. It was huge. We were tempoing. Looked up on the clock and said, all right, here we are, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, So while we're playing fast, I mean, it was a bunch of third downs. They were certainly making us earn it. It's a good defense. Nothing but respect for, how hard they play. And then after we scored, I won't say there was a minute or something left, and we kick a knuckleball down there, and it bounces off one of their kids' face mask, and we're able to recover it. I think we scored 2 plays later, hit a little play-action pass, hit the tight end down the seam to take a 14-0 lead into halftime, and that was huge. We were able to get a field goal coming out of half, and, to get that 17-point, 3-score lead, 3-possession lead, and really just kind of set on it at that point, trying to get it to as late in the game as you can and keep a little distance. They were able to pop a run on us, make it 17-6, and then JT finally hit a long one. We gave it to him a lot tonight. I think he had 37, 38 carries. Somebody told me he had like 220 or something like that tonight, and 2 scores. So kid's a warrior. He's a winner. I can tell you that much. He's a winner. He's a warrior.
Coach, was the kickoff like that intentional, or did the kicker just kind of miss it? Of course. Yeah, we've seen one. We saw another one like that tonight that worked in their advantage.
It was not. If we could do that, kick that knuckleball like that, we would certainly do it more. No, it was just a break that we got, and we were able to take advantage of it.
Coach, your offense has been lights out all year long, scoring over 40 every game except for tonight, but you'll still take that. But let's talk a little bit about your defense. Xavier White, your linebacker, leading your team in tackles, and then Jackson Townsend.
Yeah, 2 inside. One's a junior, one's a sophomore, mature beyond their years. Very, very proud of them. That group, has responded all year, got better over the course of the season. I thought Kyron Griffin made some huge plays tonight at safety, some big tackles. Another sophomore that we think has an extremely bright future. And of course, you don't slow down an offense like this if you don't play well up front. Jordan Mason, Elijah Nelson, Ethan Richard is a program kid. And I don't mean to ramble, but you get me talking about these kids and how proud I am. I'm gonna ramble a little
Ramble
bit.
away.
Yeah, go ahead.
They deserve their time. Ethan Richard came in here, and I don't know that anybody ever anticipated Ethan Richard stepping on the field and playing an important role. And all he's done is just work his butt off. And now he's at the end of his junior year, and he's playing extremely important snaps. And those are the rewarding things for us as coaches is kids that just pour themselves into it and develop themselves into contributors, and he's certainly one. So could say a whole bunch of names. Those are certainly some of the guys that stick out right now. Cartez Simon's the one that recovered, another program kid, senior, first-year starter, that's just hung in there and battled, and he's played extremely well for us this year. He recovered the kickoff, the muff on the kickoff, hustling down there and making a play. So just proud of him, ready to get back to work. And we know we got another huge challenge on our hands, and just looking forward to preparing.
Yeah, 2 best teams in the state will go at it in that Division I select, in my opinion. Coach, this is your 10th year there, and it was a few years ago. Man, time flies. I don't know if it was 3 or 4 years ago now that you kind of went on a little bit of rant about the facilities and
2020.
2020, okay, about the facilities over there at Alexandria, and not only Alexandria High, but the whole Rapides Parish, every school, you were defending all of them. And then you've had, first I want to know how that's going, and also you've had opportunities to go other places. In fact, I talked to you last year about your interest in another job, just to throw it out there, because people were calling me, and I said, you need to call Thomas Bachman. And you said, nah, I want to see this through. And what did you see in Alexandria High School that some people never did see? Because before you got it going this way, it was never known as a powerhouse.
I think it starts with, a couple, I guess, questions to answer in that is, one, this community is incredible. They've been very, very good to me, and this has become home. It's home from my family, and we love it. It's a very incredible community to be a part of, and we did respond. I mean, we've got turf down now on our field and Peabody's field, and we passed a bond, and there's a lot of facility improvements. I know we're going to build a field house. We're building an extension to the school, and so couldn't be more appreciative of that and the way that people have responded. I don't know. I remember scrimmaging Ash a couple times when I was at Bastrop, seeing the players that I thought were there, and looking across the field, it's like, I don't know. It seems like there could be something there. I didn't know that I was eventually, going to be standing on the other sideline. Got a great staff, man. Guy's name that doesn't get said. You interview me every week. I got a guy that, as a head coach, I've only worked with Cedarian Freeman as an offensive line coach and assistant head coach. And, the thing that I tell him all the time, and I would, every time my name gets said and it's something positive, man, I hear your name, because you've been right here by my side, or, we've been in this thing together. And Jackie Skipper and Josh Mercer's in year number 8. Ryan Russo's been here for a while. And O.J. Chatham, the camaraderie of the coaches and the quality, like, these guys are about the hard work and about the relationship with the kids. And when you assemble a group of guys like that, that's a hard thing to walk away from. How incredible the community is, but this group of guys that fortunate enough to work alongside, it's a hard thing to walk away. I know it's going to bust up one day. I don't know when that day's coming. I'm just glad it's not today.
Well, Coach, we appreciate having you on tonight, and we look forward to seeing you in the Dome next week. Best of luck as you get ready for that matchup.
Yeah, and look, go ahead and tell Darius and Jimmy Duncan and them they're only getting a limited number of catches next week. I know that's coming.
I'll tell them.
All right, Coach.
Hey, and before,
thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all.
Absolutely. And before we go to break, I know that not many people have caught this yet, but I'm going to tell you, this is a select division championship game with 2 public schools. So for the people that think that it could not happen, it's happening right now.
And they're the 2 best teams in the state.
Absolutely.
Look, I think Coach's story about, and this is a bigger picture thing, conversation for another day, but sometimes that success on the field, or what a coach, what a team can do, can go beyond the football field and be big improvements for the school and the community. How the sports can be a bigger thing and help in a bigger way.
Absolutely. And look who these teams, going back to this public school thing, look who these teams beat. Alexandria beat John Curtis, who everybody was afraid of, and that's why they wanted to go to select, non-select.
Yeah.
And Carr beat Catholic.
Yeah.
And so it's a mindset. And if you want to have the loser mentality and want to run and go to select, non-select, that may be for you. But for teams that don't look at things that way and try to be the best they can be and give the best effort they can be every week, good things happen, and that's where Carr and Alexandria is.
And we asked Coach Bachman before about it.
Yep. He ain't scared.
He said, I don't care. Just put us wherever, we'll go play anybody.
Well, you get to play in the Superdome next week, so that's a pretty cool experience for them. We're looking forward to that. We'll take a timeout. We'll be right back here on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard.
Don't have time for a new rash?
I don't have time for this.
We're here to help with convenient virtual visits on your computer or any mobile device. If you don't have time to be sick, feel better faster with Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Mom, what's for breakfast?
Don't have time for a cold? A cut? Those allergies? Or a sprain?
I really don't have time for this.
Lake Urgent Care is here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. Plus, we're kid-friendly and open 7 days a week, including holidays and weekends. When you don't have the time to be sick or hurt, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
Hi, I'm John D'Angelo, founder and CEO of Investar Bank. Here at Investar, we're about building lasting relationships, making the right moves, and catering to your needs because you are the heartbeat of our local community. Come on over and experience the Investar difference. Visit us anytime, any place, in person or online. And tell them that John sent you. Fans burgers are ready. Investar. Investar.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644.
Coach Brett Beard from Denham Springs High School, and you're listening to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Just about time for us to meet our top of the hour break with your views. Let's get you caught up right now on scores, and we'll start in non-select Division 1.
The Division 1 non-select playoff bracket, insured by State Farm.
Central over Neville, 17-13, and Ruston over Destrehan, 44-7.
The Division 2 non-select playoff bracket, presented by Investar Bank.
Franklinton defeated Iowa 35-29, and Cecilia over Plaquemine, 55-35.
The Division 3 non-select playoff bracket, connected by Rev.
St. James over Union Parish, 43-36. Sterlington over Gina, 48-14.
The Division 4 non-select playoff bracket, pumped by Peak Performance.
Haynesville over General Trask, 52-14. South Plaquemine over Logansport, 20-14.
The Division I Select Playoff Bracket, fueled by Frogs at Magnolia Beach.
Edna Carr over Catholic High, 21-19. Alexandria over John Curtis, 24-13.
The Division II Select Playoff Bracket, cared for by Lake Urgent Care.
Archbishop Shaw 35, Madison Prep 28, Edie White 41, Leesville 13.
The Division III Select Playoff Bracket, presented by attorney Chris Perrette.
Dunham over Bunkie 46-22, and Catholic New Iberia over Calvary 33-31.
The Division IV Select Playoff Bracket, restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Vermilion Catholic shuts out Kentwood 33-0, and Washita Christian 24, Ascension Catholic 22.
Thank you, Skip. Don't forget, before we wrap up tonight, we'll have a segment to thank all those who made this year's show possible. 15 shows after tonight, and I believe this is our 14th year. So coming up for one more hour when we get back.
At Louisiana Turf Cleaning, our number one priority is athlete safety. We specialize in sanitizing and general cleaning maintenance of artificial turf sports fields. From the constant wear and tear on the field to the bacterial, mold, and viruses that get under those turf fibers, we take care of it all. We also remove any unseen metal in the turf that could potentially cut an athlete. For more information, call me, Kerry Myers, to get a quote today, 504-453-6950. And let Louisiana Turf Cleaning keep your playing surface safe, 504-453-6950.
Don't have time for a stomach virus?
I don't have time to be sick today.
When you're sick after hours or weekends, you don't have time to wait around. Save time and money and feel better faster with Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. From the Jamborees to the Superdome, your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, here's Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy.
Good evening and welcome to Hour 2 of the season finale for Louisiana Prep Scoreboard. We are presented by Lake Urgent Care. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. We also, later on tonight, I know he's going to leave sometime later in this hour, but the head coach at Westside High is here. And that postseason underway in the semifinals. And I believe, I don't want to speak for him, but Westside was up late, so it is
they were
a good
in
chance.
overtime.
They were in overtime again.
And they're playing Shamrock.
No, that's next week if they win.
I thought he said they won.
No.
Now you got them scrambled.
That's the finals. Yeah, that'd be the finals.
Good luck against that team, right? All right, we'll take a closer look at some
I
more.
wonder what color they are. Shamrock.
We'll find out in a little bit.
Let's get you caught up on scores. We'll start first in non-select Division I.
The Division I non-select playoff bracket, insured by State Farm.
Central over Neville 17-13, and Ruston over Destrehan 44-7.
The Division II non-select playoff bracket, presented by Investar Bank.
Franklinton over Iowa 35-29, and Cecilia over Plaquemine 55-35.
The Division III non-select playoff bracket, connected by Rev.
St. James and Sterlington will play Thursday at 7 p.m.
The Division IV non-select playoff bracket, pumped by Peak Performance.
Haynesville and South Plaquemine will play Thursday at 3:30.
The Division I select playoff bracket, fueled by Frogs at Magnolia Beach.
Endicott and Alexandria will play Saturday at noon.
The Division II select playoff bracket, cared for by Lake Urgent Care.
Archbishop Shaw and Edie White will play Friday at noon.
The Division III select playoff bracket, presented by attorney Chris Perrette.
Dunham and Catholic High New Iberia will play Friday at 3:30.
The Division IV select playoff bracket, restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Vermilion Catholic and Ouachita Christian will play Thursday at noon.
Thank you, Skip. And as we go through the brackets, I want to go on the select and non-select Division II sides. The championship matchup on non-select Division II will feature number 1 Franklinton and the Road Dogs, number 18 Cecilia. Franklinton via a 35-29 win over Iowa, and Cecilia, again on the road, a 55-35 win over a very good Plaquemine Green Devil team. Congratulations to Coach Williams and what they did this season. It's a heck of a job for Plaquemine Green Devils representing the Baton Rouge area. But boy, Cecilia finds their way back in the Superdome. As we mentioned, playing on the road, but when you got a guy who can do a little bit of everything from a kickoff return to running the ball, passing the ball, he probably sets up the Gatorade pre, and he may check on guys who are injured. I don't know, Diesel Solari does a little bit of everything for that football team, and it's just incredible.
You said, they got him back in what week?
Well, he goes down in, week
2?
3 or 4 against Central.
Yep.
Whatever week that was, he played the first series. And then he came back a little bit, and they kind of spot played him. They played him against Opelousas, which they lost that game. But the other games, they just kind of spot played him here and there. Then when he got back for the playoffs, he was a full go. And he makes it just a totally different makes them a totally different team. But they got so many weapons between Brent Gardner and Braylon Calais and then Ellis Stewart. You look at Ellis Stewart, he's a wide receiver, athlete, DB, kick returner. He does everything. Has over 500 yards in receiving. He averaging 20 yards a catch, 500 yards in rushing. He's 25 of 39 passing. He averages 20 points a game in basketball. He runs on 2 relay teams that made the state finals. He hit 400 as a sophomore in baseball, and yet nobody's recruiting the kid, and he's 5'11", 175. There's just so many weapons that Cecilia has. They're just really, really hard to contain offensively.
Well, let's go, I believe, to the phone lines, and we have Coach Lee Doty on the line. Coach, congratulations on this win, man. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Prep Scoreboard Show.
Man, I appreciate that, and I appreciate you guys having me.
Well, Coach, you came off a big emotional win last week against Oak Grove. Were you concerned about any type of hangover coming into tonight? Because if you were concerned, you weren't concerned for long.
No, but that's absolutely right. I was concerned about that all week long, no doubt. And, but, our kids showed a lot of tenacity tonight and a lot of physicality, so I was very proud of them.
Coach, going into this season, if I'm not mistaken, you were looking for a quarterback. Were going to play 2 or 3 of them, and ended up J-Rob Breen, I think, won, and he gets hurt late in the season. How is his health, and what are you doing at the quarterback position now?
Well, that's exactly right. We knew J-Rob had the potential to come in and be our starter, and he did. He started for us, and, we brought David Hickman in when J-Rob got hurt, and David did such a great job. Now we just got 2 packages, and, we're playing 2 quarterbacks, and I never believed in that until now, but I'm very proud of both of them, and we'll continue to do so.
How about the Birch boys?
Man, I tell you what, those guys are pretty daggum good, and we're very proud of them, and they bleed blue and white over here, man, and it's just excited about them. And Trey Birch is a big kid, and he's a junior, and he's about 6'1", 240, and plays linebacker for us. And I just heard y'all talking about kids not getting recruited, and somebody's got to look at this guy, man. He's a baller.
Coach, this is like there's a kid from Leesville, and I'm going to take you off the subject for a second. Does that frustrate you? Obviously, you got guys sitting right there in Sterlington, and other coaches have guys, and they're just not getting recruited. Is it obviously the NIL and the transfer portal?
Well, this is exactly what you just said. I think the NIL, the transfer portal, Scuba Tech up here, I'll just use a fictitious name. They'd rather have the third team, punter from Alabama than sign a guy and try to develop him up here. And I guess that's just the name of the game right now. You take a guy that, got in 2 snaps against Georgia at Alabama, and that's the guy you take instead of somebody you need to develop. I mean, college coaches have got to win now. And that's what it's doing, but it's killing high school recruiting.
And I get the feeling, Coach, these are the kids that we're talking about are kids that would probably be at that program for 3 or 4 years and probably stay loyal to a team. That's, I guess, maybe what's getting lost in it too, is that it's maybe a kid that's probably ready to go to a school and be there and make it his destination and not move around.
Well, you know what? You're probably right about that, but I will tell you this, and this is facts. I'm glad I'm not in that game. I'm glad we don't have to worry about that, and I just don't see how they're making a living counting on kids that you can count on for one day until the bigger payday comes.
Yep. Coach, tell us about Hagen Herring.
Oh, man, he's a baller. We're so proud of Hagen, man. He was hurt early in the year, and he's come back, and he's made some big strides for us. He's got deceptive speed, and, man, he's a tough kid. And he's going to be a big factor if we can win this thing.
Well, Coach, congratulations. Sterlington back to the Dome's kind of like where they belong, and we'll see you down there next week.
Man, I appreciate you guys having me on tonight. And as always, go Panthers.
Safe travels. We'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Great to have Sterlington back in the Superdome. And, you know, you mentioned it, Coach, you can play an emotional game like that against Oak Grove, and so much goes into playing that game and winning that game. It's
tough.
hard to turn around and go, hey, we got something even more important the next week.
Well, look.
And they compartmentalized and did that and find themselves back in the Superdome.
And that's a credit to, I think, the coaching staff. But, you know, they lost to Ouachita. This is all who they schedule. They schedule Ouachita. They schedule West Ouachita. They scheduled Neville. Lost those 3 games.
Playoff
lost
teams.
to Neville 17-10. West Ouachita 29-28. Ouachita beat them pretty good. And then Union beat them 31-23. And, you know, it seems like that, you know, it's just when you're playing your best ball. And right now, Sterlington's doing that. And they're going to have a good, tough test next week against St. James.
St. James, yeah. St. James, Levante Davis, congratulations
Yes.
to those guys. They were trailing at half, 28-22. Union went up by 2 touchdowns a couple different times in that game. St. James just kept responding. And one of the things that Coach Davis had said this week, having played Union last year, you go back and you learn from your mistakes and what you did. And the biggest thing that he said was to keep it simple, play fast, and think less.
Sounds like a Frank Monica message.
Yeah. When you overcoach sometimes and you overthink sometimes, you overscheme, it slows your guys down because it's not automatic to them. You got to let them go.
And it's so easy to do.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so easy to overcoach.
Thursday night, 7 o'clock, St. James and Sterlington. I believe there was a little confusion on my part earlier today, but I believe these are all 12, 3:30, and 7 until Saturday when you got the 12 and the 3:30. So there you have it. And we'll take a break. When we get back, we will jump back on our breakdown of some of these brackets, or if we're able to connect with another coach, certainly we'll welcome them on the program. It's the semifinal edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard. We are presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Your View.
Don't have time for cold or flu?
I don't have time for the cold or the flu.
We're here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. When you don't have time to be sick, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
At Louisiana Turf Cleaning, our number one priority is athlete safety. We specialize in sanitizing and general cleaning maintenance of artificial turf sports fields. From the constant wear and tear on the field to the bacterial, mold, and viruses that get under those turf fibers, we take care of it all. We also remove any unseen metal in the turf that could potentially cut an athlete. For more information, call me, Kerry Myers, to get a quote today, 504-453-6950. And let Louisiana Turf Cleaning keep your playing surface safe, 504-453-6950.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Prep football from West Monroe to West Side. The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hey, we're getting started early on this Christmas stuff, huh?
Yeah, there's cinnamon stuff going around here.
The Christmas toddies?
Yes.
Well, it's cold outside, and sometimes you need something to just make you feel a little warm.
That's right.
Yeah. So, look, we appreciate our conversation with Sterlington head football coach Lee Doty. We were talking about, and we'll get back to that bracket in just a bit, but I know we were talking non-select Division II. Franklinton facing Cecilia, and I don't have the stats in front of me, but I feel like Franklinton hadn't been there. The Demons haven't been there.
They were 3-7 last year.
3-7.
It's been quite a while. Terrence McGee or somebody made that run with Coach Foster all those years ago. And Cecilia, being right back in this position, it's hard to doubt them based on how well they've played and the challenges they've been faced.
I know we've had disagreements with the way that Coach Salta Formaggio handled some things when he was at Hahnville. But like Todd said, to turn around from 3-7, this is his third different team in the semis or in the finals in the last 11 years. So he does a good job when he's coaching. Just got to stay away from some of the other
recruiting,
the other things. But I mean, it's a heck of a run. I kind of had favored Iowa a little bit in this one. Both of them had lost in week 2, and both of them were playing really good football.
Yeah.
But yeah. Congratulations, Franklin.
And Franklinton's got a dead-gum good principal over there in Shane Smith too.
Yeah.
And he likes to win and wants to win.
Football-minded guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that definitely helps the situation.
On the other side, speaking of, it's been a long time. I don't know when's the last time Shaw's been in the Superdome. And
2008.
You got Coach Tierney right back in there, restoring a lot of pride in that program. He talked about with the increased enrollment they've had at Shaw and what that's meant for that team. And now Edie White gets to play in the Superdome for a state title. No knock on UL Lafayette, but it's not the Superdome playing the Cajun field. So now you get to go right down the road. It's a shorter trip from Thibodaux. This is interesting for a state championship.
You talk about somebody that no one talks about much.
Coach
is the
Lassane?
job that Coach Lassane's done at Edie White. This was what their 4 semis in the last 5 years. Second championship appearance in a short period of time. 30 senior class. He's got it to where they're running that veer offense, and they're not rebuilding anymore. They're just reloading. He's done an incredible job. You remember last year, heck, they didn't give up hardly any points on the whole season.
Mm-hmm.
And you probably go and look, and he's probably working in the community down in the middle schools trying to get those guys. And, hey,
well,
Vanderbilt.
You say that? Their middle school team won that parish championship this week.
Sometimes you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure things out. That's for sure.
Yeah, very interesting.
Did they beat Vanderbilt Catholic?
Oh, yeah.
Twice. In the last seconds last week?
Yeah.
We're talking about middle school.
Oh. I don't know. Vanderbilt's band won, though.
Tuba players, yeah.
Madison Prep, though. Madison Prep had a heck of a year. They go down to losing to Shaw, but, the job Landry Williams did playing, Dutchtown, Mandeville, and Southside to start the year, going 0-3, going in and beating U-High when U-High had everybody.
Yeah. I think he had 120 wins coming into tonight.
Still a heck of a year. And we saw them, Cade, in the Jamboree. They looked like they had
very dysfunctional.
No clue on offense, no identity. It was like they were just rolling the dice in what they wanted to do. And then somewhere along that line, I think it was the second half of the Mandeville game, probably something clicked. They end up with a 2,000-yard passer, a 1,000-yard rusher, a 1,000-yard receiver. Just a phenomenal job. And he's another one that will play anybody anywhere.
Well, Shaw started off. Both of those teams won 9 in a row.
Yeah.
Shaw started off with 2 losses. They were 1-2. Their losses came to Carr and came to Rummel. And they've been on a roll ever since. So, both of those teams, again, we talked about this, I think, in the first week of the playoffs, is that when a team goes out of their way to schedule more difficult, we talked about Sterlington, it pays off in the long run. And they know Madison Prep didn't make it to the Superdome, but they improved vastly over the course of the season just based on what Jimmy was talking about.
And they had that opportunity to go. They're playing for a meaningful game, not the first round game. You got some of these coaches now, like Jimmy Zachary and Opelousas said, it didn't work out for them quite that way, but they're scheduling to win championships, not go 10-0. And I think more coaches are going to have to take that approach.
On the select Division 3 side, as we already spoke with head coach Neil Weiner from Dunham, but the other half of that bracket features a Catholic of New Iberia team who knocked off Calvary to get to the Dome. And so you find yourself in a position to win a state championship game, beating another team who's been there, done there, but been there, done that, and worn the T-shirt.
So Jimmy talked about how well Catholic New Iberia had played before they went to New Orleans and beat Newman like they did. And I didn't give them much of a chance going up to Calvary and winning that game. But it just shows you how well they are playing to be able to go up there. They were down. They went for 2 to win the game. They didn't get it. They kicked the onside kick. They get the onside kick, go down and kick the field goal to win it. And, again, we talk about small things that end up making big differences.
Special teams, too.
And you need a break to win the state championship, and there it was for Catholic New Iberia. Great job.
They started off the year 0-1 against Vermilion Catholic, 14-10 in a mud bowl. So what does that say about Vermilion Catholic? Oh, gosh, they boat raced Kentwood, which Todd predicted that score like 40-something to 10 or what, I don't remember the exact number.
Yeah.
It was a blowout. And I'm like, Kentwood's got enough athletes to stay in this ball game. I thought it'd be closer, but they just rolled tonight. So what does that say about them? But Catholic High of New Iberia has played some pretty good competition. When the thing that really caught my eye, Todd, where I started paying more attention to them was when they put up 40-something on Notre Dame, and that there said they must be for real. And their quarterback, Luke Landry, I think he's got 34 touchdowns and maybe, 1 interception, I think. And while I was talking about that, Abram Wardell finishes his high school career going into tonight, 3,100 yards, 40 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. And here's a kid who has taken on all challengers. Calvary has had 5 of the top 6 passing quarterbacks in the state at one time this year. Houston, Peyton Houston, whatever his name is at Evangel. He left and transferred because he wasn't going to start over Wardell. Wasn't patient. Kid at Loyola Prep, he was there. All those guys were there. The kid at Natchitoches Central, he was there. Put up big numbers. And here Wardell stayed the course and had one hell of a high school career. Won a state championship last year. Stats are out of the roof, and just you gotta appreciate a kid like that. He didn't run from the competition. He said, "Come on and let's go."
Calvary is another team like we talked about Opelousas last week. Coming out of that dome last year with the championship, we expected them to be back in it this year. And it just goes to show you how hard it is to repeat, because Opelousas is a very good team, and they got beat by a very good Plaquemine team. And Calvary is obviously very good. They got beat by a very good Catholic New Iberia team. And it's just, man, it's no matter how good you are, it's hard to win 5 in a row.
And Calvary had a lot of players back. You had Wardell back.
Yeah.
You had James Simons, the running back, who's just signed with Texas. You had Devin Harper, who was committed to LSU. He flipped to Ole Miss. You had Colby Thomas. He went to Louisiana Tech. You had Julius Moss. I think that might be Tony Moss's son, if I'm not mistaken. He went to one of the academies. He signed with one of the academies this week. And a lot of people going into the season thought they may be the best team in the state regardless of classification. But like Todd said, people don't understand how hard it is to not only get to a state championship, but to win one.
Because especially when you get to this part in the semis, you make one mistake at the wrong time, you lose.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Neville and look at Calvary. They didn't recover an onside kick. They probably practiced it hundreds of times.
Yeah.
And so when the competition gets so much better, that margin for error is so slim, and you just can't screw up. But I want to give a quick shout out to friend of the show, Brian Holland. He's on the way home after they did their show. They committed a full hour on Fox 44 and NBC 33, I believe, to a full hour of prep sports covering.
Awesome. That's awesome.
And anytime we can get more coverage of prep sports around here, it's always great. And, of course, WBRZ and WFB do a great job as well. So we appreciate what you do for high school sports, Brian Holland.
At the end of the day, it's a chance to highlight what these young men have done and or about to do next week. And so anytime, we have a chance to recognize those who are recognizing the student athletes, we want to do so. And so we'll look forward to another segment or two here as we wind down this semifinal edition of the show. And helmet stickers coming their way in about 20 minutes from now. We'll also get you caught up on everyone in the 104.5 ESPN YouTube chat. A lot of shout outs for Sterlington. We got some some shout outs to Central tonight as they get the win and advance to the state championship in quite a while. So we'll look forward to recapping a little bit more when we get back here.
Any shout outs to Westside?
No, but we got a guy who. We got a guy well hydrated, ready to give us an update in just a bit here on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Your View.
Do you think you have COVID-19?
I'm worried I may have COVID.
We're open 7 days a week for both rapid COVID and antibody testing. Life is busy. You don't have time. Get your results fast at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
Hi, I'm John D'Angelo, founder and CEO of Investar Bank. Here at Investar, we're about building lasting relationships, making the right moves, and catering to your needs because you are the heartbeat of our local community. Come on over and experience the Investar difference. Visit us anytime, any place, in person, or online. And tell them that John sent you. Fans burgers are ready. Investar. Investar.
At Louisiana Turf Cleaning, our number one priority is athlete safety. We specialize in sanitizing and general cleaning maintenance of artificial turf sports fields. From the constant wear and tear on the field to the bacteria, mold, and viruses that get under those turf fibers, we take care of it all. We also remove any unseen metal in the turf that could potentially cut an athlete. For more information, call me, Kerry Myers, to get a quote today, 504-453-6950. And let Louisiana Turf Cleaning keep your playing surface safe, 504-453-6950.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, Our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years.
Now back to the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN,
cussing.
Baton Rouge.
All right, welcome back to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard presented by Lake Urgent Care. It is now that time of the night. Well, actually, I thought more often we've had Coach Josh on more times, but here in the last show of the season, I am so appreciative to have the head coach of Westside on with us for an update. Coach Josh, please take it away and give us your update here on semifinal week.
Westside won 42-35. They play Shamrock, which won 63-7 over Pine Tree.
What color is Shamrock?
Shamrock is okay, but I think Westside can take them.
What color uniforms?
Green.
Oh.
Shamrock what?
Irish.
Okay, where's that game being played next week?
SoFi Stadium.
You doing any fundraisers for the trip?
Maybe. Yeah, let's do a fundraiser.
Okay. Cakewalk?
Yeah, cakewalk.
What else? Bake sale?
Car wash.
Fireball shooting contest?
Shooting contest.
I think Josh would win that one.
All
right, Josh. We appreciate you coming up here tonight, buddy.
We know you're busy.
Yep. He gone.
Man,
He
what
gone.
incredible. I'll tell you what, while they are getting going, let's update the scores. I'll read them off here on we'll start with non-select Division
Just
1.
Just do next week's game.
Yeah. Hit the cool sound.
The Division 1 non-select playoff bracket, insured by State Farm.
All right, your championship matchup, Central facing off against Ruston Saturday at 3:30.
The Division 2 non-select playoff bracket, presented by InvestStar Bank.
Number 1 Franklinton and number 18 Cecilia, Friday at 7 p.m.
The Division 3 non-select playoff bracket, connected by Rev.
Number 1 St. James and number 6 Sterlington, Thursday at 7.
The Division 4 non-select playoff bracket, pumped by Peak Performance.
Number 1 Haynesville, number 2 South Plaquemines, Thursday, 3:30.
The Division 1 select playoff bracket, fueled by Frogs at Magnolia Beach.
Number 1 Edna Carr, number 2 Alexandria, Saturday at noon.
The Division 2 select playoff bracket, cared for by Lake Urgent Care.
Number 1 Shaw, number 3 Edie White, Friday, noon.
The Division 3 select playoff bracket, presented by attorney Chris Perrette.
Number 1 Dunham, number 7 Catholic High of New Iberia, Friday afternoon, 3:30.
The Division IV Select Playoff Bracket, restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Number 1 Vermilion Catholic, number 11 Ouachita Christian, Thursday at noon. And that's your state championship matchups for next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Coach, for either of you guys, when it comes to the state championship in the Superdome in a neutral site situation, I know some teams are closer than others, but I've always kind of wondered, does it matter who is the home team and where does that matter in this matchup?
I don't think it matters.
Jersey color?
Yeah, you get to pick a uniform color.
Yeah,
and
other than that, you're.
Is Neville the only one not in it?
The only number 1. I was just looking at. There's only. I'll have to go back and check that, but there's only 2 1 versus 2. And that's in Single A, Haynesville, South Plaquemine, and then Ash and Carr. So let's see. Carr was the number 1.
Shaw was 1.
Shaw was 1.
Dunham was 1.
Dunham was 1. Yeah.
Vermilion Catholic.
Vermilion Catholic was 1.
I think it is.
Yeah, and that was the only one that Franklinton was number 1. St. James. Yeah. That was the only one.
The only other bracket, I'm trying to look and see which one we haven't covered.
Haynesville.
Haynesville. So that non-select Division 4 bracket. Haynesville getting the win over the boys from Transylvania, 54-14 in General Trask. And South Plaquemines.
That would surprise me.
Over Logansport, 20-14.
Yeah, that is a 1-point game. That's such a long trip, and I had Logansport winning. But, General Trask really played Haynesville tough in that first half. And then it just probably Haynesville's not going to have as many people going both ways as is General Trask.
Yeah.
And I think Haynesville just kind of wore them out there in the second half and had their way with them. But another good season by Coach Torino Wells and General Trask.
And we mentioned Vermilion Catholic. Man, they're playing so well that I just – Ouachita Christian is back in. You can't ever count Coach Fitzhugh and his staff out, but I just don't see this game being close.
No, I don't either.
But that's why you play the game,
Right. And it just, you got to beat them just once. You don't have to beat them a lot, but you just got to beat them once. But I think Vermilion Catholic seems to be playing a lot like Cecilia, like they're just not playing with people. They're just like curb stomping them. And what'd you call it? You call it, had another different name for it. But
is it radio friendly?
Playing video games?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
No, it was boat. What'd you call it?
Boat racing?
Boat racing?
Yeah.
They are. And look, Jonathan Dartez has had one heck of a career. 3-4 year start. I think he's a 4-year starter for him. He's the one putting up video numbers and has done it for the last couple of years. I thought Kentwood would slow him down somewhat and make somebody else beat him. And everybody knows what they're going to do. It's just a matter of doing it. And it's easier said than done sometimes.
So you have Alexandria undefeated. You have Carr undefeated.
Dunham.
You have Vermilion Catholic undefeated. Dunham's undefeated.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I think we were going into it with 7, if you count Catholic High. So let's see. Neville's undefeated. Not Neville. Nobody in 5A. Franklinton's not. Nobody there. St. James Sturgis not. Haynesville's undefeated. 1. Carr, Alexandria, 2-3. Either one of those. Dunham, and then Vermilion Catholic.
Go ahead and let's pick some winners.
If you want to go through, I'll go through and I'll start at the very top. Let's see. Central Ruston.
I'm going Ruston.
Yeah. Let's see. Franklinton, Cecilia.
Cecilia.
Yeah, me too.
Let's see. St. James, Sterlington.
Ooh.
I'm going to go with St. James.
I am too. Me too. That's a tough one because obviously Sterlington's playing really well, played a tough schedule. If St. James' offense continues to show up, because they've had spells where they haven't, if they do, I'll go with St. James.
St. James got a lot of speed.
Yeah, and I go with Haynesville and the other one.
This sounds like a sci-fi movie. You got the tornadoes and the hurricanes, Haynesville and South Plaquemine.
Haynesville.
Yeah. South Plaquemines, I know that they're a school that was formed, if I'm not mistaken, right after Katrina, and they had a lot of success. But since
Boothville,
then,
Venice.
Oh, they were. That's where all the Bachelor.
Yeah.
Play, when Bachelor won all their championships, that's where they came from.
But it seemed like it'd been quiet for a while.
And 2010 was their last state championship.
On the select side, Carr and Ash.
Give us a quarter and let's flip a coin for this one. I expect a high-scoring game, even though both defenses are good. Well, I say that. I'm going to have to think about that one.
I'm going 24-21 Alexandria.
You think it'll be that low?
Yeah.
Alexandria?
I was
Lower
really,
score favors Alexandria, you think?
I'm going to say Carr. I'm going to say Carr.
Shaw, Edie White.
I like Edie White in this one. I don't know the health status of the Shaw running back, but I like Edie White.
I don't either. He was supposed to play tonight. Defense is for Edie White. They have an advantage there. I think Shaw offensively has a little bit of advantage. Ooh, I don't know if I'm ready to make a pick. That's a toss-up. I'm going to throw Shaw out there first.
Friday at noon. I wish that was a little later in the day. I think that you could have a really good crowd for that game. The school's not too far from the Superdome. Dunham, Catholic of New Iberia.
Oh.
I got to go with Dunham. I got to go with my boy Neil and Caleb and those guys, the local team. I honestly think it's going to be a tough game for them, though, but I'm going to give Dunham it. Are we putting money on this game?
No, this is just
no. And look,
you know what I mean.
I'm thinking the same way. Look, Catholic New Iberia's just been playing so well. And they've really beat some quality teams. But so has Dunham, and Dunham's beat them in a big way. I think that going into the game, if there was a line on it, I think Catholic New Iberia would be probably favored by 4 or 5. But it's going to come down to really the fourth quarter.
I'm pulling for Dunham. Let's say that.
Yeah, for sure. And finally, Vermilion Catholic and OCS.
Vermilion Catholic. Yeah. God, we dodged that son of a gun around for as long as we could.
Yes,
but no, it's there are going to be some good games, and I think there were some great semifinal games. There was just a couple that were really out of whack, but going into halftime in the third quarter, there were some great games, great competition, and again, I think the brackets are a whole lot better than what they were 3 years ago.
I agree.
So let's take a time out. When we get back, we'll wrap up tonight's show and the season here on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and your view.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Don't have time for a cold? A cut? Those allergies? Or a sprain?
I really don't have time for this.
Lake Urgent Care is here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. Plus, we're kid-friendly and open 7 days a week, including holidays and weekends. When you don't have the time to be sick or hurt, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve.
Coach Mahaffey from Walker High School, and you're listening to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard with Kay, Todd, and Jimmy on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Good evening and welcome back to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. And your view, and I guess while we have time, let's go ahead and run through the state championship matchups for next week, and we'll start on the non-select side.
The Division I non-select playoff bracket, insured by State Farm.
Saturday at 3:30 will be Central and Ruston.
The Division II non-select playoff bracket, presented by InvestStar Bank.
Friday night at 7 o'clock is Franklinton and Cecilia.
The Division III non-select playoff bracket, connected by Rev.
Thursday at 7 p.m. is St. James and Sterlington.
The Division IV non-select playoff bracket, pumped by Peak Performance.
Thursday at 3:30 is Haynesville and South Plaquemine.
The Division I select playoff bracket, fueled by Frogs at Magnolia Beach.
Saturday at noon is Edna Carr and Alexandria.
The Division II select playoff bracket, cared for by Lake Urgent Care.
Friday at noon is Archbishop Shaw and Edie White.
The Division III select playoff bracket, presented by attorney Chris Perrette.
Friday at 3:30 is Dunham and Catholic New Iberia.
The Division IV select playoff bracket, restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Thursday at noon is Vermilion Catholic and Ouachita Christian.
Thank you, Skip. Getting our scores gathered tonight and throughout the season. We appreciate that and look forward to the state championships next week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, inside the Caesars Superdome. So as we get to the end of the show, we customarily like to honor some of the top performers. We'll do it a little bit differently tonight, but let's go ahead and crank up tonight's helmet stickers.
Highlighting tonight's top performers. This is Helmet Stickers on the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show.
A lot of names you can throw out there from tonight's performances, and I welcome you guys to do so, but want to make sure we mention the people who are the top performers for us, those who, because of their support, make this show possible. And Henry, if you can pull this graphic up, we've got our friends at Lake Urgent Care, of course, who are the title sponsor of this program and have done so for many, many years. Our friends at Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, who bring you the Louisiana Prep Preview Show, also provide that Friday night sports injury clinic during the regular season. Our friends at State Farm, and yes, that is Frogs at Magnolia Beach. We got Rev, we got Edward Jones, we got Investar Bank. Right there is the Tiki Man from Coconut Willie's. We got Roto-Rooter, we got Chris's Specialty Foods, BSN Sports, Nicotre Electric, Presley Wealth Management, Peak Performance Physical Therapy, Tony's Seafood, Louisiana Turf Cleaning, Boyer, Hebert, and Angel. And really, throughout the year, whether it's Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, Louisiana Prep Weekly, or Louisiana Prep Preview, this group of sponsors not only sponsor the program, but they're sponsoring and supporting the athletes on the field. And we appreciate what they do.
That's the main thing. It's not about us. It's about the high school kids getting those guys as much publicity as we possibly can and try to do it in the right way. And a lot of former athletes, a lot of those businesses are involved with kids even up into today's time. But we couldn't do it without them. Also, Cade, our food sponsors, we've had a ton this year. I don't know if you have a list of those.
We can pull that up
there
here.
You go.
We've got Mi Padres. We've got Mike Anderson's from Prairieville and Gonzales, Small Sliders, South Plains Food Company. Frankie's Doghouse came on board this year. Chris's Specialty Foods right there. You got the Chicken Shack who showed up tonight and were very much appreciative. Bayou Brothers Barbecue Sauce came through this season as well. But some of these people have been kind of a part of the family, so to speak, for years. I mean, you mentioned your boys going behind the bar, Mi Padres, helping out, serving chips and salsa and beverages. And look, these are people that are connected to their high school communities as well. South Plains and what they do in that Zachary community, it's incredible. So we appreciate Chris's Specialty Foods is always out there, Small Sliders. These are just, a sample of ones who they fed us during the year, but they have a bigger role in what they do for the student athletes as well. For Telly's as well, yes. My apologies.
And that's all right. They're, they do a great job around the central area, around Prairieville area. Awesome. We talk about the kids, but it also gives the coaches opportunity to talk about their kids too. You heard Coach Bachman earlier, just kind of going on and on about his kids. And you build a relationship with these guys over the 4 years, and when you see them successful, it really gets you excited, and you want to talk about them. And I think we're one of the few shows, if not the only show, that gives that opportunity for a coach to come on and really talk about his players and his team and brag about them.
Yeah, as we talked to Coach Bachman, and it's true. We are calling coaches who won that night, and so they look forward to that phone call. But tell you what, we appreciate those coaches out there. There's too many to name, honestly. But tonight we have head coach Neil Weiner, Coach Thomas Bachman, we had Coach Lee Doty. But throughout the year, all the coaches who take a couple of minutes and join our show, we appreciate that, whether it's across the board. Take that time to help promote their program. That's what we hope this platform can do each and every week, is be that megaphone to promote your program and your kids. The correspondents that have helped me out throughout the year, Troy LaBeouf, Kirk Smart, Jeff Palermo from over there at YourView, Danny Jones, Taylor Sharp, Jake Martin. We had Brittany Rose from 100.7 The Tiger at their pep rally. So, we've had a lot of people contribute to the show, and all of it is going back to promoting high school athletics.
And we appreciate YourView.
Yep, YourView, and appreciate you guys, Ryan, Skip, Cassie, everybody. We've had several on the video board. You can name.
Yeah, so Henry's here tonight. We had Jacob Beck. We had Paul O'Neill stop by. Mark Adams ran the board a couple weeks back. We had Cassie Spazzali and Ryan, who I think has made his 12th year on the program.
Wow. 12 years?
Yeah.
He started when he was 18. That meant he started when
30 now.
He's 30.
It's a good Dutchtown education.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
He can add.
How about Dylan
dad's been in the
Sampson?
radio
Speaking
business.
of
Incredible, huh?
Yeah, Dylan
Yeah.
Sampson, local high school guy, SEC Player of the Year.
That's awesome. You know, and that's part of, I think, maybe the unspoken cool aspect of this is you see some of these young men perform, and then later on you go, man, I remember watching him on the sidelines just a couple of years ago, and it seemed like, or, you know, this kid's now in the NFL or whatever the case may be, and you see them having success later on. It's that payday for you as a coach, and you go, man, not only the success on the field, but you see him respected off the field. It's an incredible feeling, and I'm sure you coaches know that more than anything.
And also thank Gardy Rush for giving us this opportunity.
I ain't thanking him.
You ain't thanking him?
Nope.
I will, Gardy.
I made Gordy back in the day.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's why the station does so well is because of us.
Hey, we had a shout out. We had somebody that I guess we can throw that out there. Somebody said he was in a fraternity with Coach Todd Black tonight.
Yeah.
Dr. Scott Petrie.
Yeah.
He's orthopedic surgeon out with St. Elizabeth's.
Mm-hmm.
We were in a fraternity together many years ago, but I saw him out with Jeff Shake Snyder last week, and he supports the Dunham Tigers.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be at the Superdome next week.
And so will we, but certainly we appreciate everyone tuning in tonight. Thanks again. We look forward to covering prep sports again in the spring. You've been watching Louisiana Prep Scoreboard. Good night, everybody.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink